Welcome to Deep Cuff Channel. New Year's gift from Ukraine to Russia. Clashes across Ukraine reached their peak minutes before the new year. Russia carried out massive missile and drone attacks on Ukrainian territory, but the result was disastrous for Russia. In turn, the Ukrainian army achieved historic victories in critical areas under Russian control. Kyiv region began to be the main center of the war. The movements of the Russian troops increased. What changes will happen in the course of the war with the new year? What about Russia's ammunition stocks? As a result of its attacks on Russian troops, the Ukrainian army managed to destroy 760 soldiers, 2 tanks, 9 armored combat vehicles, 5 artillery systems, and 13 special armored vehicles. Since these attacks took place just before Christmas, we can say that the Ukrainian army gave Russia a wonderful New Year's gift. In addition, according to local sources in the region, Russia began to suffer its greatest losses in the Luhansk region. It was stated that as a result of the operations carried out by the Ukrainian army in the region, Russian checkpoints and ammunition depots were targeted. Strategic city of Bakhmut in the region is known as the place where the majority of these losses occurred. In response, Russia tried to launch rapid counterattacks to turn the tide of the war and break the resistance of the Ukrainian defenders. According to Ukrainian sources, with the counterattack launched yesterday evening, Russia started to carry out simultaneous attacks on 9 regions under the control of the Ukrainian army. Allegedly, Russia carried out 12 attacks and 31 missile attacks with warplanes and unmanned aerial vehicles. Target points of the attacks were announced as Sumy, Kyiv, Donetsk, and Chernihiv. It is stated that the Ukrainian Defense Forces successfully repelled Russian attacks in various regions. It is claimed that the Russian army fired a total of 100 missiles to make the attacks successful, and also attacked the Ukrainian army with a total of 50 unmanned aerial vehicles. Kyiv Oblast head of military administration Alexei Kulipa stated that the region where the attacks were most intense was the capital, Kyiv, underlining that the Russian army used unmanned aerial vehicles in the attacks. Kulipa also thanked the Ukrainian air defense units. Reason for this is that the Ukrainian air defense units neutralized all 32 Shahid series unmanned aerial vehicles sent to the region by the Russian army. Unable to achieve what it wanted with its unmanned aerial vehicles, Russia launched missile and artillery system attacks on the Ukrainian army. Accordingly, Russia carried out numerous attacks within hours in regions such as Kyiv, Sumy, and the Donbass region. It is stated that the Ukrainian army has neutralized the vast majority of these attacks. It is said that especially the NASAMS air defense systems supplied to Ukraine by the U.S. Army achieved serious success in these operations. Ukrainian army, which took action after the Russian attacks, gave the Russians a great New Year's nightmare. First Ukrainian attacks took place in the south near the Dnieper River. Thanks to the videos posted on social media, it is seen that the Ukrainian special forces carried out massive attacks on strategic points under Russian control. Support of Ukrainian drones to the attacks greatly increases the success rate of ground troops. Ukrainian army wants to seize the east of the Dnieper River and command the attack it wants to launch on the Crimean Peninsula in the coming months from this region. While it is reported that clashes continue in the region, explosion sounds are also heard from the Crimean Peninsula. Russian military officials in the region stated that the cause of the explosions was the attacks carried out by Ukrainian drones in the region. In addition, the Russian Ministry of Defense reported that Russian air defense systems on the Crimean Peninsula successfully neutralized unmanned aerial vehicles used by the Ukrainian army. Although the Ukrainian military has not officially claimed responsibility for these attacks, the Russian side is confident that the attacks were carried out by the Ukrainian military. Success of the air defense systems in the region seems to have greatly satisfied the Russian officers. At the same time, explosions were heard from Belgorod, located in the north of the Crimean Peninsula. Belgorod Oblast Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov explained that the reason for the explosions was the operations carried out by the Ukrainian Defense Forces in the region. According to Gladkov's statements, the Ukrainian army carried out intense attacks on the Belgorod region using missile and artillery units, as well as the Air Force. Ukrainian military did not make an official statement that it officially claimed responsibility for these attacks. However, as we have just said, Russia is largely confident that the Ukrainian army carried out the attacks. Ukrainian army may have wanted to give various Christmas gifts to the Russian army. Russia is currently not successful in repelling Ukrainian attacks. Reason for this is Russia's weapons and ammunition problem. In other words, missiles or artillery ammunition are not only used for offensive purposes. Air defense systems, anti-aircraft or similar systems need a serious ammunition stock in order to operate actively. According to the Institute for War Studies, Russia has run out of stocks. Main reason for the rapid depletion of Russian missile stocks is the fierce fighting in Bakhmut and its southern region. Kyrylo Budanov, head of Ukraine's main military intelligence directorate, previously said that Russia's missile and ammunition stockpiles will run out in the first months of 2023. At the beginning of the war, Russia was known to fire about 60,000 artillery shells a day. At the point we have reached now, this number has dropped to 15,000. Of course, Russia resorts to various ways to overcome this crisis. Russia initially tried to take the ammunition from the inventory of its strategic partner Belarus. Although it is not known for the moment whether this transfer took place, the crisis in which the Russian army is in cannot be resolved in this way. Especially considering that 8 out of every 10 missiles fired by Russia are destroyed by Ukrainian air defense systems, Russia needs to find another solution. Contrary to popular belief, the biggest reason for winning a war is not the strength of the army. Key to winning the war is manufacturing, logistics, and supply capability. These three things are missing in the Russian army. When we look at the Ukrainian side, we see that none of these problems have been experienced, especially thanks to the support given by Western countries. Knowing that it would not be able to overcome these difficulties, Russia instructed its ground troops to prepare, especially in the northern and southern regions. According to claims made by independent military sources, Russia has ordered ground troops near Kiev to launch massive attacks on the city. Videos appearing on social media also seem to prove these claims. Recently, the length of Russian military convoys in a region close to Kiev draws attention. 50-kilometer-long convoy indicates that an expected Russian counterattack will soon begin, but the Ukrainian defenders are ready for anything. If Russia uses all its forces to attack uncontrollably, the victory of the Ukrainian army may be closer than we think. We will continue to monitor the world and especially Ukraine. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.